Hello, is it me you're looking for? Wait, I'm gonna.
Started off well and went into Kermit.
I can see it in your eyes.
Oh,
There we go.
what on?
Welcome to Toffee TV. It is Mondays.
Oh, sorry,
Can you
Kermit.
please turn Kermit down, please?
Kermit
Thank you.
is go-
It's the Everton Daily Extra here on Patreon. Monday morning. Well, for me it's the morning. Monday
It's
after.
5:30.
Well, that feels like Monday evening.
Yeah.
Nearly tea time.
It is nearly season.
I'm sure today has been hard work for a lot of Evertonians. I'm sure as much as you've tried to avoid things that may have happened over the weekend, they will have caught up with you today in work, because you would have been today. Someone would have come up to you in work that you've barely spoken to, barely know, didn't have any kind of a clue what their affiliation was, whether they were into football. No matter what, that person will have sought you out today to give you the news that you clearly didn't already know, that the team they support have had a good weekend. It's incredible, isn't it? It's incredible the amount of those people that will have made themselves
Known to you.
known to you today. I mean, we work in a place where we don't really have to worry about that because we're all well aware of what we are. So it's not really an issue from that point of view. So I'm sure it's been a tough day for a lot of people. Yeah,
Gary Ward, hi Gaz.
it's a struggle, isn't it? Life's a struggle
I just
when it comes to that kind of thing. No, because it's how people have to deal with it, isn't it? I mean, it it's just it's horrible. That's what the word is.
It is. But
It's horrible.
what can you do?
You can't do no. That's not the point. You can't do anything.
Mm.
But it's doesn't mean it's not horrible. It's like, if a shark was about to eat your face, what can you do? Nothing is the answer.
Well, it's like to go like
You
that.
could go like that, but then it just eat your arms,
I know, but I'd rather
and
go.
then it eat your face.
I know.
And
Yeah,
that's
but if you just left your face there, then you've done nothing to
exactly.
try
So
to protect
you
it.
can't. You've got to try and protect yourself, but by protecting yourself, I'm not saying you're going to make it worse, but
Something's getting eaten, is what you're saying.
the shark's just going to call you better, isn't it? It's just going to call you better.
We are bitter.
And I don't know. Don't know, but
Anyway.
we keep on doing what we do. I mean, it's just what I would say is, and we'll come to your comments in a moment. Stay. What I would say is that I never watched the match. I still haven't seen a second of it, and I'll never see a second of it. The same way I've never seen a second of the Barcelona game, and I never will see a second of it. I watched Liverpool twice last season, both against us. I went to Manchester for the match. I knew what the score was while I was there because I was just like, well, what's the point? I felt all right. I thought it was quite obvious they were going to win. And then yesterday it just started to nag at me, because the more I started to see people, like, I live just off with one of the parade routes, as does Baz, and the more I started seeing people walking up the street and just looking at them and just thinking, you've never been to a football match in your life. I can just tell you've never been to a football match in your life, because you can tell, can't you? Come on, you can tell, let's be honest. And the more I seen them, and then after the parade had gone, I went out and took the dog, and he was out for a walk, and there was still a few little bits of them knocking about, and it just started to wind me up a little bit. And the reason it started to wind me up is not because they'd won something, it's that because the people who were out celebrating hadn't earned it. I mean, I'm not saying they earned it anyway. I mean, I'm not saying that one of them would have tapped one in with 5 minutes to go.
No, I won't say.
But none of them had earned the right. And that's what will always be the thing that winds me up about them, is that, and I've said it for years, you can go to town and you can buy a scarf or a t-shirt and put it on, and suddenly that makes them a fan. And it doesn't. It doesn't make them a fan. And I'll have arguments with Evertonians, and I have had arguments with Evertonians, because Baz has watched me in the studio do it. you earn the right to those trophies as a supporter as much as a player does, I think, and hardly any of them have earned that right, and that's what annoys me more than anything in the world. So just wanted to get that off
I
my
know,
chest.
you really wanted
No,
to,
I did.
you
It, I
wanted to
just it
share
winds
it,
me
didn't
up.
you?
It winds me up that it's not earned. So when I see all these pictures of all these people like in the streets of Liverpool, and the news continuing to tell me how many fans they've got and all this, I don't see them. I don't see these fans. Don't see these fans on a regular basis. I see loads of fans coming in from outside the city, and that's great. And I know they've got, listen, all my uncles and my cousins were in Madrid, and I've got no problem with that. My uncles and my cousins will be in Qatar for the World Cup Championships. They'll already be saving for it. I know they will, because that's what they've been doing for years and years and years. I've got no problem with that. It's these people that just turn up who have not earned it. I've seen people in our street this week giving it the bifters, flags up. I wouldn't have honestly knew they were Liverpool fans. I didn't know they were Liverpool fans. Suddenly they're Liverpool fans, and that's what
Well,
what
in terms of that, if Everton got to a cup final,
yeah.
people had done their houses in blue, and you might know some at Everton, and some people mightn't go to the match, but they're Everton.
I would, because I've got blue dart.
I listen. Bits of a lot of what you're saying, I agree with, but some things, I've got no issue with anyone decorating the house, none whatsoever. The issue I had with decorating the house and flags and all that 2 weeks before was the thing that I was just like, why? The day before and the day of, no issue at all, and the day after, no issue at all with it. And I've got no issue with some people who mightn't go to a match coming out and to see them and clap them and all. I've got no issue with that. That's up to, I don't like it, but that's up to them, and I'd expect the same courtesy from Reds if and when we win something, is that you just go, yeah, well done, you've won something, get on with it, enjoy it for yourself. My issue with the whole process is when people don't enjoy it for themselves, when they're enjoying it to rub it in your face or to have a go at Everton or whatever. I don't understand that, honestly I don't. I understand it if it's part of an argument, then you can say, fuck, have you ever won, or what are you know what I mean? I get that then. But I don't get, when Everton win a trophy, one of my first thoughts won't be to fucking message Liverpool fans or to go, fuck you Liverpool. It'll be about what we've done and us and being with people who are loving, celebrating that we've won something. If Liverpool fans come at you, then fine, bat it back with, we just won, whatever. But some Liverpool fans, and it's not all of them, of course, it's not. Some seem to just want to attack Everton with something that they haven't even done. They don't. These fans who are tweeting don't play in the game. They've not won the European Cup. Liverpool's players have. Do you know what I mean? So that's the kind of thing that annoys me. But it is what it is, and they're a good side, and they've won it. And you just got to get on with it and got to focus on.
But doing things like defacing the tower and things like that,
that's nonsense, and it's saying from both sides nonsense. One thing that's annoyed me more than anything is Mr. fucking Boom having a pop at Everton because he's pissed on a coach and someone's given him a microphone and he's saying shite, because he is a shite talk. No matter what anyone says, he shoots them down to the ground in terms of that. In terms of buying into all that nonsense and having a pop and all that. I thought he was better than that, but then after about 3 months of him being here, I knew he wasn't. So that's the way it is. That's the one thing that, because there's no reason for it. There's literally no reason to make any reference to Everton whatsoever when you're on your big bus parade. Just because you're pissed, your tongue slipped. So I hope the couple of Everton fans he drinks with in Formby give him a fucking good slap when they see him and remind him of who he is. That's all I'm going to say, innit? So it's done. On to Everton. Let's get on to comments. Stephen. Yes, Steve, I had a good holiday. I mean, the shite talk's damaged it a little bit at the end, of course, by winning that. But no, it was sound, mate. Had some nice time away. Watching Spurs in the final on Saturday gives me hope that when you get your house in order and give the right people time, obviously you can progress and that. And he's done that in 5 years, and he's absolutely right. You mentioned it on sort of when we were talking before about speaking to Flav last week. Is that they give Pochettino time, and each year he's improved them and he's done really well, and they've established themselves now in the Champions League, and they've done it differently to other clubs, and so that has to be the model, doesn't it? That that we should be looking
You've got to get on a road, and you've got to, if it's the right road, obviously, if you go on the wrong road, that's what we've been doing the last few years.
Yeah.
You've got to get on the right path, but you know what you've got to do? And actually, it's just flipping that the other way. It's all right on Spurs, but they didn't win the trophy. The team that won the trophy, they're the team that you've got to look at, really. And I hate to say that, but you've got to, haven't you? They brought a manager in. Both teams in the final on Saturday, right? European Cup final. Both teams around the same time, wasn't it, as well? Not much between the two of them.
Yeah.
Both teams brought a manager in that they absolutely believed in. They fought to get them. You know, Pochettino, Spurs had obviously identified, not just looking at what he'd done at Southampton, but looked at not what he'd done, but how he'd done it, and how hard working that Southampton team was, and how he got everything out of them. They obviously identified that and said, right, we can build a club around this fella. As soon as they did that, everything started going forward, and they give him time, and they got the house in order behind the scenes, and that allowed them to build the ground, which I know they've been fighting for years, but that really kicked it on. And Liverpool have done the same thing. They got Klopp in, someone, you know, world-class manager that other people maybe should have gone for, but maybe, I don't know why they were reluctant. Maybe it was almost like, well, he's having a year off, leave him to it. And the last year, Dortmund wasn't great, but maybe he was just suffering a bit of burnout. And maybe, because I think in football, if you're suffering a little burnout, you don't do everything properly. And the minute you give those players a reason to slack, they slack.
Yeah.
As soon as you stop cracking the whip because your standards are lowered, your standards might be low just because you're tired and you can't put all that work and effort in it. Liverpool sought after them, made them a deal he couldn't refuse, essentially giving the keys to the gaff. Then they built a big stand, and I know that sounds stupid just saying, well, they built a big stand, but when they did that, that was almost like the final jigsaw of the ground, and allowing them to start cultivating a more sort of things, match day and all that kind of thing that all pays in. And they brought Moores in as well, who've massive part of the reason why they are now European champions. You know, honestly, you can't. That's another thing they got absolutely right, and they just got the whole out. Both clubs have just got the whole houses in order and gone. What they've done is they haven't sat back and gone, well, we believe in this, but we're going to do it bit by bit. They've absolutely run at it, and I still think that's one of the things missing at Everton. Is I just think we're still a bit like, yeah, this is all right, but we'll wait and see a little bit. I want to see the club going fucking head first, and all these people who criticise the club and talk about the stadium and all that, in a way, they're sort of right to the point where you know, in terms of like they want to see stuff getting done. Like, sort of, you know, people talking about, well, if the stadium plans are there, why aren't we seeing them? Why aren't we throwing? And that's, I'm not saying they should or they shouldn't, but I think Everton have got to start. If they believe in the manager and they believe in brands and they believe in the stadium, then I think they need to start going, do you know what, we're going at this at 100 miles an hour. If they think it's the right thing, if they think they're on the right path, then do it, and stop sort of doing what we've been doing for the last 25 years, is quietly behind the scenes being, oh, this seems like it's going the right way. No, push forward with it, start making some noise, and otherwise all we're going to be doing for the next few years is sitting here, why they win trophies, saying what we're going to do and not actually doing it. And that's the one thing that I think we can learn from both football clubs, is that they've got on it head first. So I think that's one thing we've got to take from both clubs.
Gotta get the right people in. There's still gaps at Everton. Mashiri's come in, and yes, things are moving in the right direction, and we've got the director of football in, and things seem to be moving off the pitch in terms of the playing side of it. But above that, I don't really see any market leaders in there in key positions at Everton. You know, I'm not seeing any evidence of Everton growing in the way that we want to. So we have to try to bridge that. We've got to look at. We won't ever be probably as big as Liverpool globally. We just won't, just from the way it is. But in the same way, City will probably never be as big as United globally. So what you have to do is you have to scale down what they've done, but you have to look to that, how they've built their brand, how they've extended their brand, and go, well, how can we do it on a slightly smaller scale then, but enough to make us grow again, and then maybe enough to make us grow again. And you have to do it like that, and to do that, sometimes you have to get the right people in who start demanding things get better and reaching for the stars almost. Because if you just carry on going, well, we'll just aim a little bit higher, you will get a little bit better, but a little bit better when everyone else. It's no good you running at 20 miles an hour when everyone else is running at 50 miles an hour. So that's something we have to do.
I think the key one there is you're saying about, and we seem to have we seem to be looking to, the manager, whether you think he's the right man or not. Brands seems to be the right man. He's got now on the board. But for me, like you just said there, I still think we're missing that figurehead. They went out and got. They used to have a guy who's their basically, their chairman or chief exec.
Yeah, wasn't it?
Billy, what was his name? Billy, whatever his name.
They're Ian here.
They're Ian here, and they had another fella, Billy Hogan, wasn't it? Yeah. Well, Ian here, they're Ian here, and they had another fella, and basically Ian here was a bit of a. Their fans used to buzz off him because he'd go in to buy players, and when he came out the negotiations, the player will have signed for someone else. That was like the running joke. He kept on going in for players and missing out on them because he never ever delivered. They went in and got Moores, a guy who'd been at EA Sports, who knows the business in and out, inside and out, will have dealt with all the big companies in the world while he was at EA Sports, while he was like developing the FIFA brand. You've got to work with everyone doing that. Very lucky that he was a Liverpool lad, given basically his dream job, which was really essential as well. But they got him in, and he's just opened them up. Whereas I just look at us, and I've no disrespect to Denise Barrett-Baxendale, but I just look at somebody there who has worked as the leader of a local charity, and I just look at that and I just think that's not. I really wonder how we can open doors to the markets we need to open up. I know we've got Macheri and from that side of things, but I just wonder. Look at Brands. Brands is the one. Brands can probably go into a conversation with anyone because he's done deals with everyone, bought players from the best clubs in the world, probably knows everybody. Do we have the phone numbers for all these big companies? Can we walk into a room and straight away the person knows who we are? Bet you they can with Moores, but Moores can walk into any business, boardroom in the world with all these Nike, Adidas, and they'll know who he is because he'll have done stuff with them all. And that to me is one of the big worries that I think we still haven't satisfied, is that we need to get someone at that top level who's a mover and a shaker and can do those deals.
You do, and even if it was someone alongside Denise almost, fair enough, but we do need someone who can go and have those conversations with all of these businesses, because I still believe that we're a Premier League football club. We're a top 8 Premier League football club, so we should be able to do better brand deals than what we're doing, much better, and have, go after better sponsors and everything, and we just don't seem to ever be able to kick on in the manner which, listen, the proof will be in the pudding as we go forward, but at the moment we're not seeing enough effort.
I think Man City, it's funny because you said that. Man City probably know that they'll never be as big as Manchester United, but that doesn't deter them from trying to be as big as Manchester United. They're doing it by putting all the money on the field, building facilities off the field that are as good, if not better, than anywhere else. And things like last week, the chairman comes out and does a 2-part interview on their YouTube channel, talking about what he wants and how he wants their vision and how he wants safe standing and all these different things, and he's laying it all out there what their vision is. And you know what? He'll get it, because every step he'll be there. And okay,
what's our vision?
Exactly. And you know what? You can say, well, they've got the money to achieve their vision. Surely your vision is what you think you can achieve. Now, just saying our vision is we want to build a new stadium, well, that's fine. But how do we get there? And what's the vision to get there? And why is it being kept so quiet? These are the things that, in these months now, while fans are absolutely craving to know what's going on at their football club, I think these are the things we fall down on. Is that?
But I don't think, in terms of the stadium, we know they can only say so much in a time scale.
It doesn't.
We know they,
It doesn't have to be. I mean, I'm not personally asking for.
no, but what I'm saying to you is we know because we've been told that they can only say certain
No,
stuff. But there's other things
a lot
that
of
they
stuff.
can be doing. No, that's what I mean. Steve Kelly, first of all, J Mac, did we miss each other? Did he miss me when I was here? Wasn't here.
I got him very well on my own.
See, so there you go. I had a lovely break. So there's the answer. Stephen Kelly says, do you think it's a bit of a joke that the kit hasn't been released yet? Does this come back to what you said about not having the right people commercially?
Well, the kit's obviously coming out late because the deal was obviously signed late.
Mm.
In fact, someone told me last week, and I can't confirm this, but someone who told me something about the details of the kit, which he got right, also said to me that the kit wasn't going into production till this week, which is very, very worrying. Right, that's very worrying.
Well, I just got told it'll be out in time for the summer holidays. The summer holidays are the last week
Australian
in July.
summer holidays.
Well, the last week
Well,
in July.
That's cool. That's whatever. But the problem is that, like you just said, right, we signed the Fanatics deal in February. We signed the Umbro deal in March,
Not
April, March,
Yeah.
whatever it was. Right, so everything's getting knocked on. If you've got proper, I would just think that you'd like it all done early. You'd like
Yeah,
it done better. You'd like different companies vying for your business. We'll offer you this and we'll offer you that and we'll offer. Now that all comes from being good on the pitch, doesn't it? At the end of the day. But what I will say is, I walked into the club shop last week, and it's a fucking disgrace, and I mean that. It's a disgrace, right? The stuff upstairs is all this year's kit and training gear. It's all on sale, right? It's all on sale. So you're like, right, well, what's the point? It's all this season's. Now I like grabbing a few bits of training gear because I've seen West Ham's training gear, which essentially be ours in different colour, and it all looks pretty samey same, right? So I'll always the end of the season won't get training gear because I think sound training gear is asked. So there's bits of that in all different sizes. Downstairs is all like the leisure gear, right? So spring summer, it is garbage. We're producing that Bernard t-shirt is the best, is better than anything in the club shop. There's no vision. It's all just generic crap with an Everton badge slapped on it, and that's fine. Some of that's fine. I think there's about 4 t-shirts that are like a leisurely t-shirt. There's nothing that's got any kind of imagination to it. There's no player t-shirt. We've got Richarlison, who's playing in the Copa America, who's being linked with all kinds of teams around the world, and we're not marketing him. We're not slapping him on a t-shirt. All right, there's a charity t-shirt you can buy. I don't think it's very good. That's my opinion. But why aren't we slapping these people's faces on all kinds of gear, using the things that we've got? That really annoys me. I think the club are going in the right direction in nearly all things, but it's stuff like that. I walk into the Everton shop and I've got money to spend, and I walk out empty-handed. That really shouldn't be happening. Everton should be making sure I put my hand in my pocket when I go in there. I should be coming out with something because I want to buy something. But when there's nothing in there to actually buy, then what, you know what I mean? It's when there's no kit, and there's a couple of months till there's a kit, or at least 6 weeks, and I want to go on holiday, or you've got to go on holiday with your little lads, and you want something. There should be something in the shop that you go, well, if you can't have that. And Fanatics told us they could get stuff out like that. We got factories where we can just get stuff out like that. Have a design done on a Monday, and it'll be in the shop on Friday. Where is that? Why aren't we seeing that? That's what disappoints me more than anything. And I just think it's great going on. We're going to have this big shop at the ground and all that. There's a shop in town, 2 doors away from the Liverpool shop, where there's people just in and out all day buying stuff. That's that. You can't even get the 95 retro shop in there, and that's been out for about 6 weeks. You can only get it online. I just find that really, really bad. I really do. I think that needs looking at, because for me that's poor.
Well, what can they do in terms of to make people come in and buy stuff?
Well, no, surely people go in there and want to buy stuff. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, no,
I
understand.
I walked in there. I walked in there wanting to buy something, right? And I walked out empty-handed because there was literally nothing in there. Even if I'd wanted that 95 shirt, which I've got, because the people who make it, Scourge, were kind enough to sell it. They don't even sell it in there. You can't buy it.
So, what should we be having in that shop then now? And I'm just playing devil
yeah.
advocate here.
Well, shouldn't there be a spring summer range? Shouldn't it be like nice t-shirts?
Why can't, one thing I find mad is why can't they have the training gear?
Well, I would imagine it's the same as the kit. It probably hasn't even gone into production yet. I would imagine. I'm not saying they couldn't, because we've had it in years gone by where the training kits come out first and the kits come out later. Get something in the shop that you can buy. That's what I'm saying. If Fanatics are saying you can turn over stuff so quickly, why aren't they putting t-shirts? They used to do 2 for £20 t-shirt range, right? Loads of different designs, loads of player designs. They might do a run of, like, let's say they do a run of 100 t-shirts, stick them in the shop, say to people, limited edition, then once they're sold, we're never getting them back in again. Why don't they do stuff? See, this is what I'm saying. We're going into the summer, people are going on holiday, right? It's not just kids. It's people of all ages go on holiday at different times. They want something. They want something because they might just. I want a couple of t-shirts to go on holiday with. I'll just throw them on. I had a message today, lads. Any chance of getting hold of a couple of Toffee TV t-shirts this week? I'm going away Friday. He was like, well, we haven't got a shop, mate. We're online. If I could get you them quick, I'd get you them. But there's nothing I can do. But if you're Everton and you've got a shop, then you have got somewhere people can go.
I've always thought why they don't have like summer shorts, because everyone goes on holiday.
Yeah.
And you don't necessarily want to. When I go to Florida, I don't necessarily want to put a pair of Everton's first team
Which
footy
haven't got
shorts
pockets
on
in
with
them.
no pockets in.
Yeah.
But I'd like just a pair of blue
Yeah.
shorts with just a little Everton bat or whatever.
You have done stuff in the past. Don't get me wrong. You can get. I'm not saying there's nothing in there, but what I'm saying is there's no imagination to anything. And I think if you go 2 doors down in Liverpool 1, you'll find a shop that's got 2 floors of just loads of gear.
What stuff do they have though?
They have all kinds.
Of what though?
Just all kinds of different. They'll have stuff like us with just a badge. Wow.
Yeah.
But they have stuff like. They'll use all their old badges. So I know we've got stuff in the shop at the moment which is used as the very old EFC badge.
Oh, yeah.
Which is basically left over from when they done the kit stuff last year, the ground stuff. But they look like, I'm only comparing them because they're next door, but they look like they're putting stuff out that's got a little bit of imagination behind it. Loads of different player stuff, loads of retro stuff, just you name it, they've got it. You walk into ours, and honestly, I could go in the shop this week and I'll know there's nothing different from when I went 2 weeks ago. And then 2 weeks before that, there'll be nothing that was in there 2 weeks before that. And there never seems to be any new stuff. And I think literally for the spring and summer, I think they brought out 4 t-shirts and that's it. And that to me, that's one of the big problems. People have got money to spend, but they'll spend it elsewhere, ultimately.
Simon Rouse, I always say your name wrong, Si, I'm sorry. Let's be positive about the transfer window and how it will elevate us in the league. Well, we've done a video today. We had El Pivote, I think he called it. El Pivot, I call him, however you want to say it. He was in the studio today and I've done a video with him. Basically, just around the players we've been linked with and what his thoughts about them are and what positions they fitted into it. And obviously, when Ped wasn't in it, he was editing and doing other stuff. When you're doing the interview or you're having a conversation, you don't necessarily always remember whether it's any good or not. But you listened and said it was
very good.
It was quite interesting in terms of
cutting the wheat from the chaff. I said about it.
But that was good, wasn't it? Because we looked at quite a few of the players and how they fitted. Only people who've been reported.
Basically, just got rid of the people who have been reported, who's real and who isn't real, who would be realistic people we'd buy and who's just nonsense. And it sounded very good. Very, very real.
So check that out. I think it's out on Patreon.
It's on Patreon right now, 6 o'clock. But don't leave this video.
No. So after this, make sure you check it out.
It's available to watch right now, but don't leave this video.
Decent. Has there been any players who you've seen us link with over the last week or so who you've been excited by, or are you still at that stage where you're just like, I'm no links until I know there's anything and I'm not even going to be bothered by it?
There's no one really I'm excited by because I don't think we're getting linked with those kind of players.
Mm.
I think there's a lot of chat,
Yeah.
a lot of rumour, a lot of agents talk, isn't there?
What do you make of the West Ham stuff? I know you and Bailey done something on a transfer show last week, but with Gomez, I mean, it's 3 stories a day about it.
They obviously want him, don't they?
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
don't think there's any messing about there. Seen Paul Brown today from the Star. I know it's the Star, but he's not bad. And he wrote a story early on saying West Ham wanted him. They were prepared to go up 25 million. And they're pushing Everton. And it seems to, and then he put another story out about half 2 saying the player wants to move to Everton, or he's told friends he's prepared to move to Everton, wants to move to Everton, and but the club haven't quite shown as much interest yet. But not, I think what it is Everton are like, well, he's only going to sign for us. We've made assurances probably to him, and we're going to get a deal done. His agent might be like, well, I need to talk to West Ham just in case, and that's where it's coming from. So West Ham might think, oh, we've got a chance here, but it would seem that he could go to West Ham if Everton at some point just go, no, I think the talk was that they're banking on the player digging his feet in, and Everton, they don't want to make it a bidding situation, because West Ham could be sitting there going, we'll go to 30 million, we'll go to 35 million, and the lad mightn't have any intention of going there, and Everton might be sitting there going, well, we're not prepared to go to 35 million, we're not prepared to go to 30 million, we'll give you 25 million for him, and the bottom line is we'll wait till West Ham walk away. But what you can't have is West Ham going, well, we're not walking away, because we're getting encouragement from his agent, and his agent is probably like, well, if I get the West Ham to say they're willing to give him, it'll be because Everton have walked away. It's not because he wants to go to West Ham. It's because Everton will have walked away. For us, it's a waiting game. A lot of fans will get nervous. They do. We all get nervous this time of year because there's the lack of information, and there's also how you frame a story. If a story says one day, Gomez, West Ham linked with Gomez, then the next day he can follow up with something else, and the next day he can follow up, and he can keep on changing the story to fit there. And
well, there's quite clearly an interest in it, isn't it? Because they keep doing the story. So I think you're absolutely right. I think the player, I mean, our information is the player wants to come here. Everton and Marcel Brands is dealing with it. It's a game of cat and mouse. His agent's doing the exact job he should be doing, which is trying to get the best deal for Gomez. So we'd probably be going to West Ham and go, well, yeah, you know what? He's interested in coming here. Knowing West Ham will give him numbers, and then he can take them back to Everton and go, we've got a firm offer of X amount a week, and this is what he wants.
He's on holiday, isn't he?
In Italy, isn't he? No.
He's on holiday. He's been to the States now. He's on his own little chill out holiday. There's been rumours. Well, how can I say this? So we got, there's rumours of the kit, isn't there? Rumours of the kit, and we've heard from different people about the kit, and the rumours from different people are coming up with the same design. And one of the people who came up with the rumour of the design,
I know what the kit looks like.
No, I know. I'm trying to explain this in a
I
way
know.
that doesn't get anyone into trouble.
No, it's not going to get anyone.
So
yeah.
One of the people who told us what the kit looks like, that matched up with someone else who told us, also said Andre Gomez was modelling the kit.
Yeah, he was
right,
in the kit shoot.
Was in the kit shoot essentially. So I'm just saying that if he's in the kit shoot, then Everton obviously are very confident of getting this deal. The kit shoot was done very close to the end of the season.
Kurt Zouma wasn't in the kit shoot.
Zouma wasn't in it. But this kit shoot was done literally the final week of the season. In that week between the last home game and the game away to Spurs.
Even when the Spurs story was there, the favourites again, they've agreed a deal with him. He then went and done the Everton kit shoot.
So and he wouldn't be under any contractual obligation to do that either, because obviously he was a Barcelona player, so that probably wouldn't be, things like that wouldn't be in his I mean, Andre Gomez, funny thing is, if you do go in the club shop, you will see Andre Gomez wearing gear, so there will be something in his contract to do stuff, but I don't imagine that would come to the new kit. So, but he apparently was modelling it, so That's all good for next season. So I think we've all just got to keep our nerve, and we've got the right person doing these deals, and he knows how it all works. And what he'll be looking at is West Ham are one of those. They're like, they're like a rat who won't go away. As much as you hit them with the broom, they won't go away. So most clubs would probably go, "Oh, the player doesn't want to come." Then, but because like you just said, because the agents will be using it to their advantage. But then it's up to Gomez, isn't it? Then Gomez makes it very clear that he wants to sign for Everton, and Everton want him. Then the deal will be done.
But that's how it works, isn't it? It works with. We had this last year with Mina, with the agents trying to get a better deal, and Barcelona were peddling it, and Barcelona are probably saying to West Ham, "Well, you play the right money, he'll go to you. He'll go where we tell him," and it just gets peddled along, and the player doesn't have to say anything because his agent works for him. So all the player has to say is, "I want to join Everton." Let the rest play out in between. Let it play out. It's just us as fans.
Yeah.
I think we get nervous because
Yeah,
we want. I think the thing with Gomez, the way I look at Gomez, if he was another midfield player who'd never played for Everton, I wouldn't really be asked.
Yeah.
To be honest, I'd look and go, "Well, we'll get someone else. We don't get him." The only reason I'd like it confirmed is I just don't think it sends the right message out. Not that I don't think he will come to Everton, because I do, but I just don't think it sends out that right message if he was to go somewhere else when we want him. And I don't think he will go somewhere else because he wants. I certainly don't think he'll come to. He want to go to West Ham anyway. J-Mac, tell us what the kit design looked like, fellas.
Blue.
It's blue, and it's got flex in it. That's all I'm going to say.
If you've seen the goal, I imagine the goalkeeper. We put a picture out. The goalkeeper kits will be the same. They're always the same.
There's just it's.
If you've seen the West Ham kit, and you've seen the Hearts kit, and you've seen the way it's got the colours in the kit, I imagine it's like
it's all over the kit.
That kit.
It's a bit weird.
That kid did was it Everton Designs? I think he did one.
It wasn't quite like that.
But I think was it the dark blue? Isn't it a lighter blue?
It's a premise of that. It's a lighter blue. It's like fleck. It's weird. It's a bit. Yeah, I haven't had it in my hands, so you can never tell from what you're shown, but it's a bit weird. The second and third kits are very good though. What was the other one? Simon, Gary Ward first of all said the stadium excitement will come as soon as the first shovel of dirt gets moved.
Yeah, of course.
I think the stadium excitement will come in July when people see designs.
No, I think when
I think that kicks it up the next level.
I think when people see the designs, and Dan Mice last week, I thought it was a really interesting interview he did. Have you seen the interview he did?
No, I've seen extracts from it.
So basically, he's talking about the stadium. He was talking about Everton very quickly, and he said that essentially he was just basically saying, very excited. And it's going to be iconic on the skyline. The ships are going to come down, and the small ships are going to come down. They're going to see it. It's going to be really iconic. He said it's got to fit in, which was what everything we're getting told. But when he was about the Roma ground, I thought was quite interesting, because he was saying about how stadiums now are seen. The prices are just getting ridiculous. I know in the States they cost a fortune anyway. But I think the reason why in America they are this all-encompassing stadium that generally get built by the help of local city councils and things like that, and they use this tools, aren't they, to keep a club in a city, because the franchises, they'll say, well, if you don't build us a stadium, someone in a city 500 miles away will. And they've got everything, whereas football stadiums haven't always been like that. But he's saying, football stadiums now, that's what they want. Everyone's looking for the edge, and one of the edges, especially with FFP, is that your stadium's got to be able to do everything. But when he said about Roma, I thought that was quite interesting, because he said, well, it's going to be a football stadium, but the facilities around it, he said, they're going to have everything. And I just wonder whether that was a model he might buy into at Everton, where it's almost like the stadium is going to have all the amenities that are needed for a stadium, and everything else is going to be in buildings next to them that might be owned by Everton. But I know there's not loads of room on the footprint, but what's to say that you know, the club shop, like Liverpool's, is in a separate building next door, where you can have as big as you want, almost like a warehouse almost.
Yeah, yeah.
And then next door to that, you've got like like a somewhere where facilities for hospitality facilities that could have, I don't know, like you know, like a platform that you walk between the two buildings.
Yeah.
You know, so you know, so the ground doesn't have to be squeezed into, so the whole ground is almost for football. Of course, you'd have your hospitality in there, but at one level, and you'd have your
Well, we know that from the stuff we've seen.
yeah.
Goodison, don't we?
But I mean, other
But, yeah.
facilities,
Oh, yeah,
other
yeah.
facilities that can be attached to the ground, that don't have to
You want
necessarily
the
be
ground to
in
be
the ground.
as cheap as it can be, without losing quality.
Mm.
That's essentially what you want. Ultimately, the proximity of the seats to the ground is the most important thing in that stadium. How many you can
Yeah.
get in, how compact it can be in terms of on top of the pitch, because that's ultimately when we sat in our seat. That's all that matters. All the other stuff around it is great, but I think it is going to be iconic, regardless. But the excitement for me will start properly when you see the designs. That's when it'll go up a level, and then obviously you're right after that, Gary, when the spade goes in the ground, so to speak, or they start filling the dock in, as Dan mentioned. I've seen a quote from that. That'll be where it goes up another level. In terms of, Gary Ward also said, in terms of Gomez, it's his agent trying to get a bigger percentage. Wouldn't surprise me. Simon Roos, if Zuma is a no-go, who else should we look at?
Don't really know.
See, I'm not so certain Zuma isn't a no-go. No. Just a couple of things I've heard. I think there's been a little bit of a turn there, but again, a lot depends on whether this appeal goes to arbitration, which it looks like it will.
But they're looking like Chelsea, looking like Sarri's going to go to Juventus, aren't they? You know? And if they bring a new manager in, it'll be interesting whether they bring a new manager in, almost be like not a caretaker in name, but almost someone who would be happy to come in. Someone like Lampard, who just would be happy with the job. He's not going to start worrying about what money he's got, or this or the other. Someone you almost just put in the hot seat for a couple of years and go, or for a year or two, and just say, well, do what you can with what you've got. Especially if they've got a lot of younger players. But if they take it to the court of arbitration, get pushed back to January, so they can buy people this summer, then that might free it up. I imagine he's another one who's quite happy at Everton, so he might be willing to say, you know what, I'm going to start my career fresh with a manager who wants me, with a team that are going in the right direction. Whereas he goes back to Chelsea and he's suddenly fighting for his spot again. What if it doesn't work out for him? Where he knows at Everton probably will work out for him. So
it's going to be interesting. There's too many variables at the minute with that one, but it's in terms of where we'd go from there. I think it'll be some. Listen, Holgate's back. I think Jags will move on, and it'll be someone who they've got an eye on, because Brands isn't stupid enough to not have his eye on the ball. He'll have been identifying who could do Zuma's job from September. You know, and they might look and have full confidence in Mina. We just don't know, do we? But
Mina's playing tonight.
He's playing,
Colombia. He's in the full squad, isn't he, for the Copa America?
Yeah.
So he'll be playing tonight. I think it's 11 o'clock kickoff. Dean played last night.
Lovely crossing.
Apparently played very well.
He did.
Although the opposition weren't great. Zuma came on, didn't he?
He come on, yeah.
He played as well. So,
I've got big hopes for Mina. I know other people haven't, but I still think.
No, I think you need three.
Yeah,
you need three top, and one maybe who's you know, either up and coming or on the other side.
Holgate will be the other one.
So Holgate probably be the other one. So
so if it isn't Zuma, it'll have to be someone.
Interesting quotes from Andy Robinson today. Did give a couple of lines like a Wigan newspaper.
Oh, Robin, yeah. I was thinking I meant the other one. I'm not sure why. What's he said?
Who did he think I meant?
You said Andy Robinson.
Anthony Robinson.
Anthony Robinson. I thought you meant Robertson.
Oh no, Robinson.
That's right. Robinson. Still going on about us winning.
Yeah. He said basically he hopes to come back to Everton, and he said the manager's been speaking to me, and he said he hopes to get more game time, get game time at
Yeah,
Everton
it's
this year
been
and stick
sold,
around.
hasn't it?
So Leighton Baines, obviously, who was on holiday. I don't know if he's still on holiday. There was talk. Well, Rangers fans were very excited over a couple of nights ago, thinking they were going to get him. It's actually like trending on Twitter. There's that many of them like
It's been dismissed, though, hasn't it?
going on about him. But Everton apparently waiting for Baines' decision. But Robinson has said, he hopes to get a
Well,
chance this year.
I think there was the breaking news from the Echo today, wasn't it? Update on Bay, and there was no update. He'd been offered a deal that he'd been offered 2 months ago, and he's mulling it over, so there's no update. But he's on holiday in LA, or has been, and we know that he likes it there, and we know that he's weighing up options. And I just wonder, if you're Leighton Baines and you're 34 this year, which he is, so you're looking and thinking I've maybe got a year, maybe 2 maximum left playing footy. If you're gonna want to sit on Everton's bench now, or do you want a different experience? And I think I've got a feeling he might be leaning towards a different experience.
I suppose
we know where that different experience is.
I suppose though it comes down to how much you like going into work every day, isn't it? Really, how much you like going into work every day.
Yeah.
He's got kids.
But what if your family's ready for a different experience? Even
Yeah.
if it's for 18 months.
I don't know. Well, I suppose it comes down to all those decisions, doesn't it? I don't know. His kids could be at the ages where it's not really.
For 5 kids, hasn't he? Or 4
He's
kids?
got
or
loads of
something?
kids,
Loads
yeah.
of kids, yeah.
He might be at an age where it's like, well, one of my kids is doing me GCSE. I don't think they are, but
They're
you know
not
what I
that
mean.
age.
No, but you know what I mean.
No, I know.
11 plus.
Be anything, couldn't it?
yeah.
But it'll be
No, he's
interesting.
got to weigh that up. It's different. If he, let's say he moved to LA, it suddenly goes from being a holiday place to somewhere where you actually live. Doesn't always work out, does it, for people, that kind of thing? So,
But then you've experienced it.
no,
haven't
you'd have
you?
experience
I
there.
mean, Ashley Cole done 3 years there,
Yeah,
didn't he? Or
He
something,
did, and he wasn't like a high price player either.
Baines wouldn't be though, would he?
No.
I think that's what he likes about LA, is that he can go and take his pictures, and there's loads of hipster bars. And, oh, but there is. And he's very much into that lifestyle, isn't he? So, and he's quite clear, he goes there with his family every year, quite clearly, they love it. They met, the picture with Tim Howard and Danny Donaghy the other week, wasn't he? So, be interesting to see what he does. I just think he may feel like that's what
Depends
he
if
wants
if he feels like that opportunity won't be there again next year,
to do.
which it may not be.
And he may. It's getting tougher, that league, because the age come right down in it, as we know.
And come home for Christmas.
Yeah, you're home
If you want
you're
to be.
home in November till January, aren't you? So interesting. Thomas Jennings says Gomez won't sign till deadline day. Barcelona will squeeze every penny out of us. I think he'll be signed. If he's signing, I think he'll be in the next couple of weeks, mate, to be honest, before pre-season. Stephen Kelly, I see we were linked with Diego Llorente over the weekend. You know much about him. He's the kid that Liverpool are linked with as well, isn't he? Decent defender, good centre back. I'm not sure. Isn't he 28 or 27? I don't know whether he's as pacey as what Zuma is, but I know he is a good defender. So maybe. But I still think Everton would want Zuma. To be honest with you, I think he'd be the first choice. Quite clearly, because that's what they'll want.
I think the first thing they'll want to do is try and keep that team together,
and then add to it.
and then add to it.
What's your make of Robinson, just very quickly? I know you just mentioned him there, but what's your make of him? We saw him a couple of pre-season games last season, and he's definitely got something about him, hasn't he? Pace, he's quick,
Yeah,
isn't
he's
he?
fast, isn't he?
And he's got a decent left foot on. I know Wigan have raved about him, and I know it's the Championship and whatever. But he's definitely got ability, hasn't he? And physically, he looks like, if he can be half as good as
I don't think
his double.
I don't think defensively he's great. But you try and maybe counter that by
Good position.
having him on, offensively more than anything else. Seen him play for the States a couple of times, and he looks alright for them as well. But again, he gets caught out defensively. So I think it's But you just said, you know, they've got Trent Alexander, and no one ever says he's a good defender.
Well, he's not, is he?
He's
fabulous going the other way.
He's
isn't he?
brilliant going the other way. He's typical modern fullback. Great delivery, can beat people for fun, and I suppose that's what you're looking for. Has he shown enough? I don't know. Maybe with a year of training, with the first team might really help. But then he's got the problem of he's got Luca Dean in front of him, who.
But then it's progression.
It's about
battling,
it's about getting past that, isn't it? It's about you know.
Stay. Llorente, yeah, you're right. I'm thinking of the other. Remind me of the other one, the 27-year-old we were linked with. Llorente's the young. Yeah, he's the one Liverpool after. Or we're linked with him with us. Yeah, he's the young. There's another centre back, and his name slipped my mind. He's 27.
Llorente, the one for Celta Vigo, is it? Or
I think it might be Celta Vigo. But there's
one of those Spanish clubs.
Over the weekend, who's 28, I think he is. He's a good defender as well, but he's just outside. Stay, Google it, so because I can't, because we're doing this. Peter Francis thoughts on Holgate. I think he's got a big future still. Maybe initially at right back, then centre back if he fills out. Tough Holgate, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because he's definitely got ability. There's no question about it that he's got ability. We saw again in the video with El Pavote. He was giving us some numbers because, you know, the eye test as he calls it. Holgate's looking great, but when you look at the numbers, some of his numbers aren't great in terms of passing and things like that, and that's key. I think certainly at right back, you've got to be able to pass the ball well, and because you create chances. I still think he's got a future at Everton, but it's how he develops. He's coming back into the fold. Marco Silva will assess him, and he's got to have a good pre-season. He's got to show the manager that he can do his job either at right back or centre back.
He's either good enough or he's not, isn't he? Do you know what I mean? It's not a case of we're gonna lose him and we're gonna regret it. He'll either be good enough, and therefore will push, and the plan will be put in place for him, or the manager and Marcel Brands will just say you're not good enough. You need to go elsewhere. You need to follow this other development path, which doesn't end up with playing games for Everton. Which is, I suppose, all the player wants to know, isn't it? Am I part of the future here? Don't string me along. Don't tell me. Do you think I'm good enough now, or do you think I'm going to be good enough next year, or do you think I'm going to be the year after? Look at Tom Davies. He signs a contract and he says, they've got a plan in place for me. They know what my strengths and weaknesses are, and we're going to work on all that. Lad knows where he is. You've got to get that for other players, I suppose. No point stringing these players along. What's the point? We've seen him with him take him out going into the Championship. We saw now John Joe Kenny possibly going somewhere as well. Schalke, which I think would be an absolutely amazing move if he went to Schalke. Again, if he went to Burnley and he played, I don't think that would be a bad move. But at least be honest with these players and say you're not good enough, and the only way you are ever going to be good enough is you do this, this, and this.
You've got to give them the pathway, haven't you? That's what you're there for. That's your duty of care to those players, is to give them. Excuse me, you make me yawn here. It's to give them that pathway and say, look, if I do that, and that, then I'm going to get to this level. If I don't, then I won't. Simple as. Simon wrote, what are your thoughts on Boa Morte coming in as number 2? We've done a video on that, Simon. All I'll quickly say is, if the manager thinks he's good enough, then fair play, we'll have him. Simple as. But check out the video. When's that
can't really.
That's going to be out tomorrow.
Tomorrow, probably. Yeah, you can't really sort of. How can you judge an assistant manager? It's very difficult, isn't it? All you can say is, does the manager want him? Are there reasons why the manager wants him? If that's yes, then you can't really say nothing. It's whether you trust the manager, isn't it? Whether you trust Marcel Brands.
Now Almeida's the right back, isn't he? There was another centre back we were linked with over the weekend who's 28. I think Everton had a look at him, and he's done quite well this season. I can't really slip my mind the name, but Almeida is 28. He's a right back with a dodgy moustache, but very good crosser of the ball as well. Finally, just from me then, what Henry Onyekuru? I know you'd done stuff last week when I wasn't here. There was the stuff about him saying, if Everton listened to me, I'll stay at Galatasaray.
Oh yeah.
He's been linked with Dortmund and Bayern Munich, and things like that. It's looking likely that we're going to get shut up, isn't it? Rather than keeping them. So is that, in your opinion, is that a mistake to do that, or do you just think it's about trust and when we have to trust the manager?
I can't really sit here and say I'd be too disappointed if we got rid of him, because 2 loan spells, he's done all right, not amazing. Be interesting to see what he does in the AFCON.
Yeah.
See whether he's like a real standout, how much he plays for Nigeria. Innit?
Do you think that could change Everton's mind?
I suppose they won't sell him till after it.
Yeah, makes sense.
Because you wouldn't sell him, would you? His price could go up by a couple of million quid if he has a good AFCON. So I wouldn't be
in a rush
to get rid of him.
Starts, when does it start? A couple of days, isn't it?
It'll be next week.
7th, isn't it, or something, or whatever.
Friday.
He plays. So interesting. Steve Kelly, any news on pre-season? No, because they haven't confirmed stuff, but they've got a few good things lined up. Once the contracts are sorted, we'll know about that. Peter Francis, the only issue with Boa Morte is his history with Duncan. Maybe Duncan goes. Duncan's not going anywhere.
Duncan's not walking out of Everton just because he had an argument 8 years ago.
No, he did have that little set 2 with Boa Morte and it wasn't very good, but he'll come in as the number 2 and it'll be sorted, won't it? You know, I'm sure there'll be the obligatory pictures of the 2 of them together, and
the headlock.
And a headlock would be good, actually. It'd be a good way to head it off, wouldn't it? Have a little thing, you know.
It's almost like when the players, like kids, aren't they? Now they're all grown up.
Well, you see players who were kicking 7 bells out of each other, and it's this and that, and then the next minute they're there.
Remember when Schmeichel and Wright?
Yeah.
Remember when they had that big fight, and then they did stuff with TV, didn't they? Afterwards, you've got it.
Look at Vieira and Keane.
Yeah.
When he done that program with the 2 of them, you're like, I hated you as a player, and this, that, and the other. In those moments, it's battle mentality, isn't it? And I know there was a little bit of, things got said. There was a Boa Morte said Duncan had said something to him and all that, but you get past it, don't you? They're both men, and so therefore you have to get past it, and you do. And if they work together, they probably, if he just come back with Duncan, he'll probably just leather him. Well, he probably would if there was an issue.
It would. I'll tell you what, though, it would be interesting to know whether Marco Silva is or was fully aware of it. That would be imagine the first day going, what?
Why did no one tell me?
What? No, you imagine there'd be people at the club going, you might need to just check this out first.
Have a little word with Duncan.
Have a little word.
Let's see what's what. But I think Duncan could probably just say, listen, it happened when we were playing and things were passionate, and we've all moved on. Imagine if Duncan had to imagine he couldn't work with anyone that he'd ever had a scrap with. So the biggest, he did. Put it this way, him and Davy Moyes weren't exactly close friends, really.
No, they had scuffles.
They had a few moments, and then Duncan come back. David Moyes brought Duncan back to the club, or approved them coming back to the club. So that's what it is, and that's what football is so much of a small environment, really, if you think about it, that you're always going to come across people who you've played with, or who you've had a go at, or who you've had a scrap with, or whatever, because it's that, isn't it? It's almost like a fishbowl thing, and you will be in the room with other people, and you have to get on with it and listen to it. It's moved on. It's not like it was last year, is it? It's years ago. So, and it was all. Listen,
Duncan might even remember it. Do you know what I mean? It might have just been one of those things where it was just like something was reported and he just got on with it.
Yeah. And you move past it.
Yeah.
It's probably all nonsense anyway. Anything else before we finish?
No.
Nothing really is there. We've covered.
I don't want to waste all the subjects. We've got a rest of the week.
The one I said we'd talk about as well was the Koeman thing. Koeman's done an interview.
We'll talk about that tomorrow.
Alright, we might do a Tuesday topic on that if no one said anything in. about Ronald. Otherwise, we'll
Send
talk.
your Tuesday topics in as
Yeah.
well.
Otherwise, J Mac, we'll talk about Ronald Koeman tomorrow.
Yeah, we'll do that tomorrow. We
Yeah.
can't, you know, it's going to be a quietish week.
Yeah,
So-
we can't spread ourselves too thin.
Yeah.
We'll probably do individual videos on all of these subjects to spread the time because you love it. Right, that's it. We are wrapping it up there. Thank you for joining us on the Daily Extra Live.
We'll be back tomorrow.
We will.
We will.
We certainly will.
We'll be
So.
here all week. We're here all week.
All week. All
Here
week.
all week.
So, yeah, there you go.
See you later.
See you later.